How would you like it if you're woken up in the middle of the night by noises from your kitchen? Everyone is asleep, and you keep hearing that sounds as it gets louder. As you wake up to investigate, and you see a burglar who's trying to steal from you. As you tell him to leave, you grip your wooden club even harder. The burglar turns to you, and he has a knife in his hand, and he starts coming towards you. Wouldn't you rather be trained on a weapon that uses firepower instead of clubbing power? Good afternoon, my name is Krug, and today I'm going to talk to you about the different types of rifles that a person can own in the United States. We'll get there by talking about the important subject is gun safety. Second, then we'll roll into sporting rifles, hunting rifles, and then we'll finish off with shotguns. Now that I've briefed you on what to expect during this speech, let's shoot our way into gun safety. First thing we should discuss, and the important topic, is gun safety. I always keep the barrel pointed in a safe direction. As you can tell, my barrel is pointed up. Firearms should be unloaded when not actually in use. This one is clear. Do not rely on your weapon's safety select switch. Be sure of the target and what is beyond it. If I wanted to shoot this monitor and the friendly was behind it, I need to take that into consideration. Always use the correct ammunition. Also, if your gun fails to fire, which is called a hang fire, handle it with care. The procedures are: wait for 30 seconds to ensure you do not have a slow burn with the gunpowder. Then after that, you should grab and remove the round and discard it. I normally grab it and place it as far away from as possible where I'm shooting. I always wear eye and ear protection when shooting. Be sure the barrel is clear of obstructions before shooting. Do not modify your gun and have your gun serviced regularly. Also, learn the mechanical and handling characteristics of the firearm you are currently using. Since we just discussed the most important things, gun safety rules, let's talk about the most common rifles people own today. With today's headline news, with people committing crimes with so-called assault rifles, I should tell you a lot of these guns are not used for assaulting. It is used for target shooting and home defense. These rifles would be called sporting rifles. This weapon I will be showing to you is the Walser Arrangement Semi-Automatic Rifle, or the Walser 10. This weapon originally was used in the Romanian army. This shoots in a semi-automatic mode, which means every time you squeeze the trigger, one round is fired. This round shoots the 7.62 by 39mm round, which is a common round used back in the Eastern Bloc days. It is a piston-operated system, which means as soon as the bullet is shot out of the barrel, it uses gas pressure to move a cylinder or a piston to the back bolt to rack the next round. It has a detachable 30-round magazine. Also, with all these rifles I'll be talking to you about, you only can hold a certain amount. If you have any questions on how much your rifle can hold, please consult your local and state laws. The next rifle I'm going to be talking to you about is the AR-15. This rifle has gone through a lot of changes since its military version has entered service in 1967. This version I'm currently holding right now entered service in 1994. The style of weapon is currently used in over 50 countries. This rifle, just like the Walser 10, shoots in a semi-automatic mode of fire. This rifle shoots the 5.56 by 45mm round or the .223 caliber. Unlike the Walser 10, this rifle uses gas pressure to move the bolt back to rack another round. In the beginning, this caused a lot of problems since the military was not used to cleaning their weapons all the time. They had to start cleaning them more often. The U.S. Army actually made a comic book style on how to clean the weapon. This also uses a detachable 30-round magazine. Now, since you know some of the common rifles, let's look at some serious hunting rifles. This rifle that I'll be grabbing is the Remington 700. A lot of people see this rifle and call it a sniper rifle. My son calls it that, but sadly enough, I'm not a trained sniper, I'm just an avid hunter. This rifle was manufactured by the Remington Rifle Company, which has been around since 1816. This rifle was first introduced in 1916, according to Remington's website. This rifle shoots the 7.62 by 7.62 by 51mm rifle cartridge, also the .308 caliber. The Remington 700 rifle is a bolt action, which means as you shoot the bullet out of the rifle, you have to manually pull back on the bolt. As you're pulling back on the bolt, you are ejecting the expended round, and then once you're pulling forward on the bolt, you are loading a new bolt. The model I currently have only holds 5 rounds internally, which is right here. This means that there is no detachable magazine. Now that since I've talked about hunting rifles and bolt actions, now let's discuss one of the Swiss Army knives of guns, the shotgun. This rifle I currently have in my hands is a Maverick 88, made by the Mossberg Company. Also, I called this as the Swiss Army knife of guns. It can be used for home defense, hunting, skeet shooting, and for target practice. With a list like that, many people buy rifles, tend to buy shotguns as their first one. If you own a shotgun, most people like the sound it gives as you charge another round. If I'm somewhere and I hear that and I know I'm in trouble, I need to leave most fast. According to the Firearms History, Technology, and Development website, the shotgun was first introduced in the 1800s. Those shotguns back then were mostly used for hunting birds. This Maverick 88 uses a pump action to deliver the next round to the chamber. So as soon as you shoot, just like the Remington 700 as manually loaded. This rifle uses a 12 gauge shotgun round. Now the shotgun comes in many different rounds as well. They range from 10 gauge all the way to the small round 410 shotgun round. Side note, the 410 was developed by the U.S. military as a survival round and would always be put in aircrew survival bags along with a rifle to shoot it. As I discussed earlier, this is a pump action rifle. When you pull the trigger, the payload will leave the barrel and you will have to manually move the pump as you're doing this. And then you're ejecting the spent round and then you'll be getting a new round by pulling forward on the pump. As I discussed the shotgun in the brief history, let's go ahead and recap what I've talked about. As we first talked about, most important thing owning a rifle is gun safety. Then I ran into the sporting rifles, which is commonly owned, the Wazoo 10. Also, I talked about the AR-15. Also, the AR-15 uses a gas back system. Then I discussed my hunting rifle, the Remington 700, which uses the 7.62 by 51 millimeter ring and also can use the 308. This rifle will use the bolt action system to replace the expended round with the next one. Then we finish up with the shotgun. I showed you that Then we finish it up with the shotgun. The one I showed you uses the 12 gauge shotgun shell. It also uses a manual way of delivering the next round by pumping the old round. Hopefully me showing this to you, you now have a slight better understanding of rifles that are commonly owned in the United States. Now, I just skimmed the surface of the subject. If you still want to talk about each type of rifle that weapon was used, please feel free to email me and we can discuss this further. I'd like to thank you for your time and hope everyone has a good day. Thank you.